Hey folks, it's been a while. Zito here. Hope you folks are well. Yeah, I've been busy with a few things and just kind of summer's been underway. Been traveling a lot for work with the Coast Guard and everything like that. But yeah, finally had a chance to make a few things, and today I want to talk about this. It's my little cutting board that I made that's kind of got this optical illusion of this like 3D like crunching into the middle and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much wanted to talk about the process of making this bad boy. Of course, it's inspired by the epic MTM wood out in Russia. The dude does magical work. Of course, I put my own spin on it with some skateboards and things like that. I didn't go end grain the same way that he did or anything like that, so it's a little simpler of a process, a little less material going into it. But yeah, I'm stoked on how it turned out, and I figured we'd go over that. And yeah, so here we go. So I start with a stack of essentially the exact same skateboards. Of course, we go off and take the grip with a heat gun and then take off the gunk with a grinder. And actually at this point I want to basically mention I get the skateboards from Burling Skate Shop. I've been working with them and I've been fortunate enough to basically go into every skateboard they make. We actually talk about the plies that we want in them and the types of colors that we want in them and everything like that. So I'm fortunate enough to have as many of the same skateboards just because, you know, they're keen to basically see these skateboards live a life after they've actually been skated and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks to the shout outs to the boys over at Burling and everything like that. And then essentially once the skateboards are together and ready, we'll actually sandwich them together, full length essentially from the truck base to truck base. We'll slam them together there in a jig and basically have them so that they're about 7 or 8 inches wide, just so that they can be jointed after they've been glued up and everything like that. After that initial glue up, it's about 1 1/4 inch, 5/4 pieces of skateboards that are glued about 7 or 8 inches apart. Like I said, we'll joint them, and then after jointing them on one side there, we'll actually plane them, and we'll then plane them with 5/4 walnut as well. And effectively what we're going to do there is we'll have essentially the same thickness of wood that we're ready to work with from our blanks. And from there, once we actually have them planed down, we're actually going to cut them into sort of this table right here. Here's your table of cuts, and also here's what it looks like. Actually, MTM Wood was able to produce this as well, and effectively, yeah, that's essentially what you're looking like for your cut list right there. Once all the skateboards were cut, it was actually pretty imperative to also write down what size of cut you made. And these are of course in millimeters and everything like that. There's just so many pieces that are slightly similar when you're right down to the 5mm, 3mm, 7mm boards. So yeah, just super important to mark everything there as you go along. With all the cuts made, we then go ahead and put them all together according to the drawing, and effectively it essentially looks like this once it's ready. And of course we put it right back into the glue up jig and let it glue up overnight. From there, after the next day, we run those boards through the planer, of course, to get them flattened again. And then once we have those, we now make another set of cuts. For this particular project, there's quite a few cuts, cut up and glue up, wash, rinse, repeat styles. So yeah, just kind of get used to that for this particular process. But yeah, effectively we make this particular cut list here, and then we cut and then we glue those boards together to effectively make our final glue up and everything like that. So once you have those particular pieces cut, we effectively make our final glue up right back into that jig, that glue up jig. Of course, you can also use clamps as well. And from there, yeah, you just cross your fingers and hope that things turn out the very next day. And speaking of which, on the last day, after the final glue up, we plane the board down once more, cut off any excess on the edges and things like that, and then we pretty much just sand away. I'll start with 60 grit and work my way on this particular board all the way up to 150 grit. And then from there, once I had that thing sanded down to pretty much where I liked it, we heat up some coconut oil, throw some coconut oil on there, and we kind of do a real sensual rub down of the course with some oil, and we have effectively a finished product. Yeah, pretty quick build on this one over the course of 3 nights, and more gluing more than anything else really. So yeah, all in all, I'm honestly pretty stoked on this thing. It looks pretty damn cool on camera and stuff like that. I do want to say that the optical illusion works best from a little further away. I think when you get right up close to it, you kind of lose the detail, I find, and it doesn't really look as crazy and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, also in photos and stuff too, it looks a little better than it does in real life. But yeah, just something, you know, something to experiment with, right? And to tinker away with. Once I saw MTM Wood make his first one, I was just like, yeah, I should probably try making that. I think maybe sometimes skateboards work for mediums and sometimes they don't. I think this one does work. However, I think it might have been cleaner just with like a plain ash or something like that. So yeah, worth a shot and super fun to have produced anyhow. So yeah, more cabin stuff to come. I've been sort of away from it because effectively the bugs are insane right now. We're wearing bug nets and stuff, but I think they're pretty much clearing up. And yeah, gonna be building a deck on the place. Gonna be finishing off the barrel, and yeah, hopefully getting pretty close to habitation on that thing soon. And yeah, Airbnb-ing it out and stuff a bit more. Got another fun skateboard project lined up too. So yeah, keep an eye out, and yeah, more stuff to come. Thanks for checking us out. Peace.